some shocking claims of violence amidst the Israel-Hamas conflict. Of course, one particular claim has been all over social media the last few days. Now, officials in the Israeli military say they uncovered evidence of a bloody assault by Hamas fighters on the village of Kfar Aza that included the killings of women, children, as well as infants. Now, Deputy Commander in the Israeli Defense Forces, the IDF, David Ben-Zion, said in an on-camera interview with Israeli television station I-24 News, quote, "They cut heads of children, cut heads off of women." Now, the Hill has not confirmed that these accounts are accurate. Israeli television station I-24 News, quote, "They cut heads of children, cut heads off of women." Now, the Hill has not confirmed that these accounts are accurate, has not confirmed them with IDF personnel. The Hill has also reached out to the State Department and an Israeli military spokesperson for more information about what happened at the village. We'll be sure to keep track if we receive any response there.
According to reporting at the Hill, IDF officials took a group of reporters to the Kfar Aza village near Gaza, but much of the information on specifically what has happened has come from IDF sources. Nicole Zedek, an I-24 correspondent, said she had been told by soldiers that 40 babies had been killed in the attack, a figure that has been widely picked up in the Nicole Zedek, an I-24 correspondent, said she had been told by soldiers that 40 babies had been killed in the attack, a figure that has been widely picked up in the media. Per the Hill IDF spokesperson, Major Nir Dinar, told Insider that, quote, "Forces had found the corpses of decapitated babies at the village, but said he had not seen images or videos himself." He also could not confirm the number of casualties a soldier had told the I-24 reporter. He said in a statement to Insider, quote, "We cannot confirm any numbers. What happened in Kibbutz Kfar Aza is a massacre in which women, children, toddlers, and elderly were brutally butchered in an ISIS way of action."
Shalom, shalom, Yasharal, all praises and glory goes to our mighty power, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and salutations to the legmen feeding the sheep of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, in sincerity and truth, with his great gospel, man, coming out of our Bible. And, beautiful times that we are in, yes, as Israelites in this truth. It's beautiful times that we are in because the Bible is speaking. Right, the prophecies are jumping right off the pages, right? The time of tribulation is upon the people of the earth, man. The spirit of pride is about to be brought down very low, right? Men's hearts about to fail, right? The situation you got going on in the Middle East is only getting worse and worse and worse. Why? Because you got two people in the land, they don't belong in that land. You got the chosen people in captivity, right? You got the heathen raging, imagining a vain thing, right? And their simple minds, they thinking they're going to be in power forever, especially Esau Edom. That's what Esau Edom thinks, right? That's why the so-called Israelis, right? The Israelis, which is Amalek, they about to go to full war against the Palestinians, against Hamas, really against the Arabs. And, the Hamas leader called for the Arabs to unite. The so-called Islam people to unite around the world with what violence, right? So, and all this is going along with the prophecies of the Bible, right? Because you got Esau Edom on the earth as a terrorist, as an oppressor, right? You got heathens in our homeland, and you got prophecies coming to pass. Matthew 24:19, "And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days," right? You got babies being beheaded, villages being shot up, people being put to death, right? Bombs being dropped. They talking about the strikes in America. What about the airstrikes overseas? Soon it's about to be airstrikes over America, right? Things are only going to get worse. And that's why the Lord had separated a lot of you men from these women, a lot of you Israelite men who are in this truth from the women. So you wouldn't bring no children into this world at this time that we're living. And some of you brothers, you have kids. The Lord going to protect you in your house if you continue in the faith. But right now, it is the worst time on earth to have a child. A famine is coming, right? A lack of bread is coming. A lack of resources is coming. Read again in Matthew 24:19. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. Right? War is coming. Conflict is coming. And people ain't going to give two fucks about your babies, about your children. Right? About your loved ones, your old grandmother, your great grandfather in the house walking with a walker and a cane. He's in a wheelchair. Man, when them dudes come through, when it's time for tribulation and trouble and people are desperate, they're not going to give two cares. The Bible tells you in the book of Matthew 24, verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. They'll fucking set a house on fire, build it on fire, waiting for you to run out so they could shoot at you. That's the type of spirit the Lord's about to put on these people on the earth, man. The love of many waxing cold, right? Tribulation at its highest. Matthew 24:7, for nation shall rise up against nation, right? You got Ishmael against Edom. You got Edom against Moab. You got Edom against Hamites and Jakes over in Africa. You got really Esau against everybody on earth because he is the wicked. Right? But the nations are starting to be at odds with each other. Right? And it's only going to lead to what? Thermonuclear destruction of certain places. And the main place that's going to be destroyed and not come back is what? America. Babylon the Great. Read Matthew 24:7 again. It reads, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Right? And once these nations rise up against each other, they're going to go into them houses, them villages, them cities. Right? Because the Lord talks about in the book of Ezekiel 9, verse 4. Let's read it. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, right? It's talking about Israel. Because the same things we're seeing happen overseas and in these different third world countries, these different Arab countries, right? Over in the land of Israel, over in the land of Africa, over in Ukraine. These things are coming to your cities in America, coming to Florida, coming to Chicago, coming to New York, coming to California, coming to Washington, right? Coming to a city near you. I'm reading, the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of Jerusalem, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem. And that's talking about you Israelites. You Israelites. The Lord's about to bring, how can we say, terrible, unfortunate circumstances, terrible times, right? You're going to be in the worst fucking predicament you could ever imagine possible. And there's not going to be a solution. Why? Because you was not seeking the Lord. You was not trying to repent. You was not trying to change your ways. You was trying to continue in this society. So you're going to fall with this place. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Bear with me. And he said, let me get this a lot. Ezekiel 9:4, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And we know that mark is a mark of exemption. It's the Tawah. This is this truth that the Lord gave you. It's the sealing. You've been sealed, right? And it says, and to the others he said in mine hearing. The others are the 2/3, the Israelites with a rebellious spirit who don't want to return and repent. Go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, right? Little children is about to be worse. Because they ain't gonna have no mercy on these little black kids, these little Hispanic kids. You already see how they treating them kids right now with the migrants coming in. They leaving them motherfuckers out in the cold from the police stations. And look at you, Jakes. You're complaining because you ain't getting no help. You've been left out in the cold for a long time too. Look at all these houses nobody living in, all these buildings nobody living in. Esau will not put you people in that motherfucker. All y'all gonna do is get in that motherfucker, get high, have a bunch of babies, and here comes another ghetto, another project, right? So this devil is really trying to exterminate you motherfuckers, starve you out, right? Starve you out. And it's only going to get worse. And it reads, slay utterly old and young, both maids. It's going to get physical. The Lord's going to put a spirit in Esau, Edom in the time of Jacob's trouble to start killing you Israelites. Put your asses to death. It says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children. And women, yes, women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, that mark we read about earlier, right? That mark of exemption from what the judgment that the Lord's about to execute upon the filthy, wicked Israelites. And begin at my sanctuary. Then they begin at the ancient men which were before the house. And he said unto him, defile the house and fill the courts with the slain. And go ye forth, and they went forth and slew in the city. Right? It's about to be dead motherfuckers in these cities. Right? And the Lord ain't gonna have no mercy. It's gonna be bitches screaming and crying. Little babies with their fucking limbs cut off, right? That's what you just seen that shit just happen. They have reports about it happening overseas. It's coming to Babylon the Great. And at the same time, the Lord gonna hit your ass with pestilence, earthquakes. You're gonna be fighting fucking rats and bed bugs and rodents, right? And fleas. At the same time, you still gotta deal with the death. You still gotta deal with the trouble going on in the city, right? Hey, the Lord ain't playing around. I'm gonna read the book of 2 Ezra 9, verse 15. I have said before, and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved. There's gonna be more dead people, because the scriptures say 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left. The 1/3 gonna be delivered. But it's a lot of Israelites who's going to be put to death, man, through the power of Yahweh Hashem outside. Dead babies, dead grandmothers, dead aunties and uncles, right? And you got to hold your spirit. You got to stay in the spirit. Because it's a lot of people going to try to get revenge. You're going to try to fight against the government. Going to try to get militias. And all you're going to be doing is what? Calling on Yahweh Hashem outside, man.